family. This is your girl, Dana Maisha, and Earth Mama Healing herself, Mama Ro. We're here to you live here on Facebook, and we hope you're having a good morning. We have a few things we want to talk about.
Yeah, so how was your week, first of all, Dana? How was your week?
It was good.
You said, oh.
Well, yeah.
What is that long?
Just a lot. It's just a lot, and not like I'm doing so much. But you know, if you are a person who procrastinates, if you are a person who says yes to everything, then you find yourself sometimes in a whirlwind, and so that's something I'm looking forward to not doing.
But that's beautiful.
Yeah. But I'm good though. Everything. Yesterday we had a good day at as far as business is concerned.
At a workshop.
Yeah, writing workshop. It's not really a writer's workshop. It's a time, and I'm gonna change the name too. We just come and exhale, and it was really good yesterday. We spoke about what we wrote about. The writing prompt was, what are you looking forward to in 2020?
Right on.
So it was really good, and we just shared. It was very intimate, which is cool, which is always dope. I mean, you know, anytime you have the opportunity to release something that you're holding, you guys know that's a good thing. So,
right on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, how about you? How have you been doing?
I've been great. Just been working on a bunch of projects, which is great. Get myself organized together. All of these interviews around people running for office have still.
How many more do you have to do?
A lot. But I got like 3 this week. And then I got Elizabeth Warren's camp is going to stop by and talk about her what's going on with her. But then, I still have, just being honest with my brother Barry, I'm still doing the work and still balancing my work with girls. Also still working on the mentorship program. Last night, it was such a treat to be hanging out with Boapa, Sacramento Sister Circle, and Black Women Right. And
how was it?
It was awesome. I love it when Black women get together, support each other, love each other. And the other beauty was, it was a lot of beauties about it. I just, anybody know me, I just love it when we can be together as a collective of people. But also there were some husbands in the building. And they were very supportive. So they was doing stuff like, serving our drinks, and they were just really awesome. Like, I was just so grateful.
The way husbands can be. Yeah. That's a good thing.
So I just loved it. I just thought it was really great. I felt so grateful for being in their presence. We did a lot of awesome stuff. And if you're in Sacramento, you should really, or I know throughout California they have BWAPAs, which is Black Women Organized for Political Action. You should join it. And this is what I'm learning. What I'm learning is sometimes you don't have to always agree with people politically, but it helps to be able to have those conversations and to support each other where you can. You know what I mean? Right. And so it was nice being on Friday night. I was with BWAPA, and they were voting on the candidates that they wanted to endorse as an organization. You have to be a member. And I just feel like we'll join everything else. We'll even join shit that don't even support us, who their job is to keep your ass out, and you'll still join their ass.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to join those organizations. Sister April, Sister Kua, I think are the presidents and vice presidents. These are two young jamming sisters. And my thing is this: I want to be a part of people who are about getting it done. And I don't care if you're super old or super young or somewhere in between. I just feel like we really, really have to support young folks, however they appear, if they're doing the right thing. And that's my firm belief. So I'm not really into this whole thing of like ageism, as they call it, because people talk about ageism like it's old people against young people. But I've seen some young people against old people because they don't have mannerisms. And if you come from a tradition of mannerisms, it can be kind of hard to be with people who don't have it. So I'm learning
to be tolerable.
Not to be tolerable, but to know my position as I get older. Because sometimes you'll talk about being young. One day you'll wake up and your ass will be 25, then you'll be 35, then you'll be 55, then you'll be 70 if God bless you to live that long.
Right.
So I'm just grateful that I am a student, and part of being a student is learning.
Right.
You know, and I think sometimes some of us don't live long enough to learn anything because we die young. Or, you know, we be so tired if we do make it out of something. We surprised we still got all our limbs and can walk around. So I'm just very, very grateful.
Or we're not open enough to learn. Because some stuff be right in front of you. I'm going to tell you, I learned a lot. I definitely learned a lot. I learned that I'm not as mindful as I thought I was, or, you know, I portray to be. I learned that, there's some things that I could work on. And
hold on for a minute. I think we're
off.
Hold on, I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, we're still on. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, y'all. Keep going. You said you learned some things about yourself?
Yeah, I learned some things about myself. It's like, Dana, you good, but you're not all that. Like, you're not perfect. There's some things that you can further develop and enhance. And I think that that realization and staying in that realization is grounding and humbling. You know what I'm saying? I think about last year this time, I was getting ready to walk into a deep depression.
Really?
Yeah. Last year this time, and I had some people that held me down, and I'm very grateful for that. And I feel proud of myself because where I was this time last year and where I am now, but I also, that comes with the understanding that I have a lot of work to do. Dana, have a lot of work to do, you know. And so anyway, I'm just grateful. And I too am a student. I learned a lot. And you know what? I'm grateful for the village and those people in the village that love you enough to pull a check on you.
That's real talk.
Now, if you have someone who you know that genuinely loves you, no motives, nothing behind it, and they can just really just like pull a check on you, and if you can be humble enough to receive it, that's a blessing, because it's life in that.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
So yeah, girl, I done learned a lot, and I'm just grateful and humble, and just looking forward to, making more of an impact, but and working more, but working smarter, not harder.
So, wow, you said this made me think of like, wow, so we're going into 2020.
Girl.
Do you remember in 1990, let's just say, you couldn't even think about, 2000 was a big ass deal.
I know. Ro, you look so cute.
Oh, thank you.
With your purple lipstick and stuff.
No, thank you.
You look cute.
So, as you, that's my computer.
Sorry.
No, that's my computer. So, as you grow and make change in your life, can you believe that you're going into 2020? What things do you want in the next phase that, because wow, like in 2020, God willing, I will be approaching 50 because I'm 48. I couldn't even imagine that. I couldn't even imagine 2020 in 1985 when I was in middle school.
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even imagine that. That just seemed like a far-fetched concept. You know?
Girl, 2020. Oh, so we're at the beginning, at the top of a new decade. I too will enter, I will enter into my 50s during this 10-year stunt. Girl, notice I tried to add 10 years to it. But, me too. I'm in my late 40s too. Girl, I know spring chicken. So,
and 50s are very significant to me because in my family, a lot of women, my mom and her mom died in their 50s. So that to me is significant.
And I share that with you, but I get 50s is really early. My mom was 60 when she had her aneurysm. I don't know why I calculate her decline at 60, even though she didn't pass over until 64. But I get what you mean about that because I'm a candidate for everything that she was and inherited some of her things. And so one of the things that I need to work on in 2022 is my health. I need to work on
around your health.
I need to exercise. I need to exercise. I need to put sugar down. I'm a sugar addict. I'm an addict. I have an addictive personality anyway, right? So, definitely I'm a sugar addict. I like to feel good and I can feel everything, whether it's good or bad. I don't care if it don't have nothing to do with me. I can feel when something about to happen. Honest to God, I can. And so when you're that kind of person coupled with an addictive personality, you looking for stuff that make you feel good, right? So for me, food, namely, especially sugar. So, it's so funny, at the building yesterday, me and another sister, Anissa, with the owner of the beauty supply, we walked down to the variety store. So I had got a Reese cup. Why did we walk back down there a couple hours later? And I'm so glad I didn't get that Reese's cup, y'all, but I was getting ready to. Because just wanting to feel good. Because sugar does nothing for you. It has no nutritional value. So that's something I need to work on. Definitely exercise more. Definitely going to be writing more because writing gives me that release or that sense of satisfaction that, so does the Reese cup too. So doing that more and then definitely saying no because I am a pleaser.
Why are you a pleaser?
I don't know. I am a pleaser. And so I will say yes, even though it's kind of like, Dana, you don't have time to do that. Dana, you got 20 other things that you hadn't even, that's just going further and further down on the to-do list. And so that's something that I'm going to work on too, that's a part of my personality that I am a pleaser, but definitely want to channel a lot of that energy and just make sure I please myself and make sure I have the life that I want. And a lot of that is like not being busy. I don't want to be booked to capacity every single moment. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I totally get that.
Because I don't think that, you're not effective that. Well, some people might be. Dana, Maisha is not. I'm not at my best.
So this morning, I sent you something because you went into that. So I just want to. So y'all, I know you see me moving around. I'm breaking in a new camera. So the old camera is in the office. The new camera is here with me because I'm trying to make sure that I can work smarter and not harder. So I have a camera here in this studio.
Yes.
And then one in the office. And so that's why y'all see me fidgeting around and usually I'm ready, but I had to reprogram some stuff.
No, we're so grateful for you, Ro, and thank you for driving and all that. I like when people drive. I like to sit in the passenger seat, but you can't just sit there in the passenger seat and not do nothing.
I like sitting there when we moving though, because I can't stand it when people drive slow. Oh my God.
Oh God, John, I'm scared to drive
I'm
fast.
serious. No.
No, I'm scared to drive fast.
Like, oh my God, if you don't jump out in this damn traffic. But it's two things. There was, I put on my Facebook page this morning about, I don't know if I put that on.
The sex trafficking?
No, before we get there. But it was something about you can't heal from trauma.
Oh.
Because I think some of the things we're talking about has to do with traumatic experiences.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was going to be, so when I think about my mother and her mother and them dying at 51, 52, I think my mom was 52. I think her mom was either 51 or 52. And from the same exact thing, it may not feel like that's traumatizing, but it is, especially if you're approaching the number. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Oh. And so that's that little trauma that I think impacts more than the trauma that you immediately see.
Yeah.
Because it has a different life form.
Because it lives with you.
Right.
You carry it in your spirit. Oh.
So the article was, to heal from trauma, you have to feel your feelings. And we do this thing sometimes in our community where we're like, girl, it's going to be all right. We want to jump all the way to the ending without going through, well, why do we even feel like that?
Right.
And what are we saying I'm going to be all right from?
And we don't really take the time. And that's why I have to thank I'm telling you, last year this time I was getting ready to walk into a depression. And you know, the people that held me down, they allowed me to walk through that and to live in that because I dwelled on it for a while. But oftentimes we do, like especially being a black woman, it's kind of like, girl, get up. You don't have time to you know, dwell over your feelings. You don't have time to nurse yourself back to health. You got to get up and keep it moving, keep it rolling. And I think we learn that as little black girls.
Yep.
So it's just a coping mechanism, whether we see our moms, you know, just keep pushing the movement, or maybe, you know, auntie so-and-so said, girl, no, just get up and just, let's not talk about that no more, and let's just go on, you know.
And that in itself is traumatic. Because
that
what it
is
says
traumatic.
To you is that when you have trauma, you automatically start stuffing it. And I used to realize that I used to cry about something that's very painful. I would find myself closing my eyes. You know, when somebody crying, they don't make a sound because you're like, I can't even let this out.
Yeah, and then it comes out in different forms, like overeating.
Yeah.
Or it comes out
or
in
cussing people out unnecessarily.
Yeah, or obsessing on other things, or
Yeah.
you know, being, you know, addicted to certain things, having certain vices and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember stuffing a lot of stuff when I was a little girl growing up. Y'all, I seen a lot of stuff, and I was very inquisitive, and I was one of those people that. I was one of those little children that you would say, oh, she grown, but not grown like fast, but grown like I could reason. I felt like I was able to reason adult stuff. I saw it and was exposed to it. But I felt like in my mind I was able to reason. So was I supposed to see it? No. But yeah, I would be sitting on the stairs listening, you know, and that's a lot. Even having that knowledge and that awareness of certain things going on is traumatic, especially if it goes against the grain. Because you can kind of feel when something is not right.
That's real talk.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And then you walking around holding people's secrets. They don't even know you know, but you're still embodying people's secret. And then you have these TV shows, right? And they're showing all of these people happy. And I'm like, you looking at them like, do they know some stuff too? So
I think even though we're in this season of feeling good, like my homegirl Jay says she loves the smell of Christmas. I think it's like the pine or something like that.
Or and cinnamon and nutmeg and butter. No.
It could be that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, family. It could be that. But I also think this is the time where people deal with a lot of depression. Because first of all, we're moving into the time of the winter.
Yeah.
There's less light on the planet.
Yeah.
More night. We know things show up for people in the night.
Yeah.
Do we check on people? People do a lot of holiday parties. What if you don't have no family?
Yeah.
What if you grew up and, I don't know, all your people gone or whatever? That's probably the hardest time for people is going through the darkness. Yeah. That's how I always knew the darkness. Yeah. I didn't know the darkness like when you went to sleep, but it's more like when the planet has less light, people deal with more depression, more issues like that. Because then holidays sometimes don't make it no better because everybody's celebrating with their family and you don't have a family or that you could celebrate with or whatever.
Right.
So those are those things. Like I just always wonder, like for Christmas and Thanksgiving, even though I'm not a big celebrator and stuff like that, I will show up and eat your food and take a gift. Don't get it twisted. But I really understand that, you know, for some people it's a hard time because they may not go anywhere.
Yeah.
Or have anyone to check on them. Or if you grew up with a big family, you remember the holidays being so awesome and big. And now that you're an adult, everybody dead. And I say like that or passed on or whatever. Then that memory that you have sometimes turns into sorrow for right now because you can't capture that.
That's true. That's true.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. I know holidays were really big in my family growing up. Our family our house was one of the go-to houses, you know. I'm going to say, and then I keep going back to this, y'all. Crack cocaine hit. People start getting divorced and different things happen. And Sunday dinner ain't what it used to be.
Right on.
You know, that was a real thing.
J-Ma said, yes, the smell of Christmas, happiness. Yeah, I always remember that with you. So I see those red candles with that smell. I said, that's the smell of Christmas. I didn't even know that was the smell Javon time met you. But so, I think we need to really pay attention to this time of year. That's all I'm saying. And to people's feelings and emotions. And you just got to pay attention to that because the pressure will creep up on your ass and you don't even know that it's really happening to you. And be very honest with you.
Yeah, and have an open mind too. Like when people are talking, sometimes you just need to let them just talk. and process.
No talk.
And just remember that things, perception is everything. So if somebody is feeling something, it's very real to them. And so try not to denounce what they're feeling.
Right on.
You know?
That's real talk.
Which is hard because sometimes when you love somebody, you just want to see them get up. You just want to see them up. But sometimes, you know, being a friend is just allowing them to process, you know?
That is so true. That's a really good one. There was also an article that talked about kids being exposed to sex traffickers online. So you know how you let your kid watch stuff. You may have something to do, give them the phone. And then like this, I'm trying to be funny, but this is some real scary shit. When I was coming up, I would always hear old people say, boy, this is the last days. You be like, what the fuck is they talking about? Like, you ate. Like, what last days? Well, I'm going to tell y'all. I'm going to tell you this. I totally understand it because you can't even get on your phone and just watch something without somebody trying to get you to come on over here. Like, it feel like there's some kind of energy on the planet that has like super morphed. While we was over here chilling, it just super morphed. And now our kids are exposed to all kind of stuff.
Well, I think that, and I don't know about other countries or whatever, but here in North America, there's no bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like anything goes. And I just think that energy, like you said, has just ran rapid. So this article suggests 7 things you probably didn't know about human trafficking.
Okay, hold on. I want you to go over those 7 real quick. Javon says, the older I get, I appreciate any time to celebrate life with family. I used to be so militant about it. Oh, I hear you, girl.
Yeah.
Now at 47, Javon, you 47? You can't be 47.
Oh my God, we all.
Because I'm older than you. I forgot. I'm sorry.
We're all 47.
Yeah. Well, I'm 48 because I had.
Well, you just made 48 in October.
I'm sorry, Javon.
There is a time that we're all.
So
47.
Javon said, I understand the importance of bonding with family, and she said we should start killing these sexual predators. Girl, you ain't look. I don't want to say this on air, but I think off with their heads. They don't have appropriate consequences. Turn them over to the family, death by firing squad. I do, because I think that's why I have a hard time hearing people defend pedophilia and, you know, calling it a sickness. And I was like, you know, you have to go. If it's a sickness, we're going to cure your ass. You have to come back again.
They're talking about labeling that as a sexual preference, right? I read something.
She said I forgot that I was older than Jay Brown. I'm just saying.
Okay.
She said in 2 weeks she'll be 48. I forgot you in December, baby.
Okay.
So right on. So tell us about these 7 things real quick.
So 7 things you probably didn't know about human trafficking.
Okay.
So number 7, I'm going to start from the bottom.
Okay.
Pedophiles and traffickers can message your children through YouTube.
What?
Pedophiles and traffickers can message your children through YouTube. And you know that's huge because how many children sit in the back of the car while, you know, your parents are driving somewhere looking at a YouTube video?
You know, this make me think of, it makes me feel like when people say we may have to shut technology down, I kind of believe that a little bit. I'm just going to be very honest with you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that probably would.
When it starts to feed on you, you're going to have to, it's like having a cancer. How do you cut it out?
Yeah,
know what I mean?
That would mean we would have to go back to basics.
And I don't think basics is bad.
No, basics kept us, basics kept us alive.
Go on with your next one.
Right. So number 6, human trafficking doesn't just happen in big cities. So it also happens in small towns. And your town probably has a list of available children and women that can be purchased for labor and or sex.
What?
Right this very minute on the dark web.
Whoa.
Mine does, and it sickens me.
Whoa. Sorry, y'all. Go ahead.
So then also, number 5, boys are trafficked too.
Okay, I can see that.
The movies tend to show women in Cambodia or little girls in Bangladesh being ripped from their homes and forced into slavery. But the truth is that little boys are trafficked too.
I can believe that.
Whew. Number 4, traffickers can be doctors, lawyers, and CEOs too.
And rabbis and ministers.
Okay.
No, seriously.
No,
like people and police officers. I read about a whole sting in the police department where they arrested like 40-something people. I'm not kidding. So yeah, they you think you running it safe. That's what I'm saying. Something's terribly wrong, family. But go ahead.
Number 3, foster care children, immigrants, and refugees are at the greatest risk for becoming a victim. And that is so jacked up because they're already going through so much trauma. Like to be, you know what I'm saying?
I get that.
So, a reported 50,000 victims are trafficked into the U.S. each year. What sickens me, this is the person writing the article, even more are Tina's story of foster care group homes and individuals responsible for caring for our most vulnerable who are so weak and cowardly that they choose people who have already been victimized to become their victims of human trafficking.
That's really messed up. I don't know, family. What's your thoughts? If you haven't seen the article, what's the name of the article again?
Your child has already been targeted.
So that's just a target.
Yeah, we'll copy the links in the thing. So number 2, your child has already been targeted by a human trafficker. A FBI agent once told Tina that if your child has a cell phone, there is 100% chance that your child has already been contacted by a human trafficker.
So where did this get so out of control? And I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, see, the first human traffickers that I know were Africans who were brought here from Africa during the slave trade, to be enslaved. So that's why, that's like the first one on record, if you will. But I also feel like we know that America is the country that it needs slave labor to survive because that's her origins. And even though we keep saying we want to fix it, don't nobody want to really pay people for what they're worth. I'm just talking about in terms of just general labor. Then we have sick ass people because we have white supremacy and male domination. They get to run all kind of games undetected. Because I don't know how somebody can be kidnapped living in your yard and nobody notices the person is living in your yard. In certain neighborhoods because usually they're white and they're male. I'm just saying they kind of get away with stuff. But then I also watch in the black community how we protect black men as women. So the article that I think I shared in the inbox showed a young man and his mama sex trafficked a child, 13 years old. Yeah. So I put on my page, I said this shit here because it just, stuff like that makes me really upset.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand that.
So to make matters worse, 70% of young people will accept a friend request from people that they don't know. So let me ask you this, World. Do you accept friend requests from people you don't know?
I don't. I look at their friends list and I look down their page, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I look down their timeline, see if we have any friends in common, but no, I do not at all.
So usually I didn't, but I mean, I didn't used to do that. But this year, this summer, since I opened the bookstore, I do accept friend requests up from authors and stuff like that, and I don't necessarily know them. But that is problematic, though. Because if I look at all of the friend requests from people that look like they don't have no mutual friends, it's like, how you know me? What made you pick me? So, yeah. No, I got a lot that I haven't requested.
I just feel like we got to be more vigilant. Times have really changed. And what I learned is that people who are predators try to use things that people do to befriend people. Like back in the day, used to be giving out candy. They'd be like, you like some candy? And you're a little kid like, oh, sure, I like some candy or blah, blah, blah. But back in the day, people would give you candy, and it's because they had candy to give. Not like they wanted to do anything to you, but if you were a predator, you would want to work in places where you think victims are. So hence group homes, hence after school programs, hence, child preschool, daycare. You start thinking of all of these places that these people would be. Women's shelters.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Places where the vulnerable go. Soup kitchen, food closet, pantries, like all those kind of things.
Right.
And I know, like, definitely with immigrants, I can see that. People coming here, they're looking for a friend, somebody to help them. Somebody promised you bring your child over here, you can educate them, they get over here and they're a slave living in somebody's damn garage. Stuff like that's a problem. But we have to have a stronger message, and I'm with Javon, with people who do stuff like that. So I spent this last week, y'all, excuse me, but I spent this last week watching a lot of history about the mafia, like how Vegas was built, what was the origins of the mafia, who was Lucky Luciano and all that kind of stuff. And they had a strict code. So you dare not do shit to them because they will find your ass. And if they can't find you, they find your family. And all I'm saying is, and that's because they came from the old country. So they had these rules and laws, which is why they was able to build Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And it was focusing on Vegas on this particular issue. But also talk about Chicago, Philly, New York, L.A. Man, like this the way that they moved out. But there was a code there. And I'm saying with black folks, I don't think you can save. That's why I'm not into the save everybody mode. I think some sicknesses cannot be cured. I'm sorry, cutting off somebody's penis is not going to stop them from molesting or raping your child.
Oh God!
But a bullet to the brain may, and you could come back as a tree or some good dirt or soil. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like the message has to be stronger because this is a bit ridiculous.
It is
that you can't be safe any goddamn where.
And so the last one, because I know we got comments. The last one, many children and teens are trafficked in plain sight. That's number one. They want you to know many children and teens are trafficked in plain sight, right in your face. Of all the startling realizations on the list, this one sucker punched me the hardest. Being a mama of 5, I cannot imagine finding out that this has been happening to one of my own in plain sight. Cases occur, as Tina explained, when a child or teen is targeted through social media or gaming. Over days, weeks, or even months, a victim is groomed by predators pretending to be a child of similar age. So these predators are committed to making our children trust them. Why? Because traffickers can make anywhere from $250,000 to $600,000 a year for each child they own.
See, that's crazy. I think the other thing that really gets me with this, and I think we may want to think about this as human beings, and I have to always go back to the reference point that I know. I looked at slavery and all the horrible shit that happened in slavery. There was a whole country that condoned that, y'all.
Yep.
So where did you think, in order to do this shit to people, you have to devalue them.
Oh, yeah.
And people have to go along with the devalue plan.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, I see stuff questionable and I say something. Wow. You know what I mean? I say something. I mean, you know, it may not be a popular stance. You ever go somewhere and you have this one relative that everybody say is crazy, but there's a
it's a reason why.
It's a reason why. But you know, when you're young, like that person that comes to your family gathering and that one person like, this motherfucker ain't shit. And everybody, not today, Louise, or whatever. And it's like, no, why is she saying this motherfucker ain't shit? And why are we listening to her? Because maybe that's your brother, your husband, or you know, we in our culture we protect people who do this. And I think that's like the first line of defense for me. I get the other stuff. I get white people and all that bullshit. I get it. But I think what gets me sometimes with us is that we don't even do the work to look at the first line of defense, which is us. So how many times we see men and young girls' faces and don't say shit? How many times we see women condone bad behavior coming from men and women? How many times you make your kid hug some fucking bite that they don't want to hug?
Right. Yeah.
No, I mean for real. That's that subculture that condones this kind of behavior. You was gonna say something. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was gonna say that if you or someone you know is being sex trafficked, right? We know that there's other definitely local organizations that work on that, but I'm gonna just give you this number. It's 888, and I'm gonna put it in here. Okay. 373-7888. Okay, let me say it again. 888.
Write it down too so I can type it in there.
Okay. 373-7888. You can also text the word help to be free to 233-733 anytime.
Right on.
Okay. So we're going to put this whole link inside of the thing. And so it also talks about things that we can do to make sure that our children are safe. They just got to type the word help in capital letters. What you can do, become informed, completely informed. Even when it's discussed, you keep reading. The bad guys are always finding new ways to infiltrate the barriers. Inform your children. Let the children know that they can be sex trafficked or they're already being groomed through social media, YouTube and stuff like that. Ask your school, youth group, scout group, or neighborhood to get involved and get educated. That's something that we all can do.
That's so true.
Number 4, practice e-monitoring of all of your children's devices. I know that's right. Yes, I know that's a lot of work. I have 5 children, but the bad guys put in a lot of hours to steal our kids. Number 5, know the signs of children who are being trafficked. If your child suddenly has new clothes, jewelry, shoes, etc., that you didn't purchase, they may be involved with trafficking. Wow. If your child has a phone that you didn't purchase, this is a huge sign, as traffickers like to communicate through accounts that parents cannot see. Wow. Okay. Number 6, if you see anything, say something. Do not hesitate to call the human trafficking hotline or your local police.
Wow. So that's, what's that number again? My computer was acting full. The number
is 1-888 373 7888. And then you can text that same number. No, I'm lying. It's not that same number.
Text on your phone, help.
Yeah, text on your phone, help. But the number is 233-733. And you just text in capital letters, help.
So let me just say this. Wow, I look at this, and this is really a interesting topic, because it's holiday season, and people be needing extra help. People have wild parties, all that stuff. Ia is saying that's true. We need to clean out our own closet while protecting our communities from the outside as well. I agree. I agree with you, Ia, so much. But I just know sometimes we be so fixated on white people.
Oh, yeah.
That we forget about the black people who look like us, who are straight up predators.
Yeah.
And we'll excuse them because we want to act like they're a victim too. When you victimize somebody else, you quit being a victim for me.
Yeah.
That's my truth. I'm not trying, because I think that's some bullshit we got to stop doing. Where it's like, well, that person's a victim too. Well, they'll have to come back as a flower and maybe they'll get it right. But when you start victimizing other people,
right,
that's a problem.
Yeah, that is a big problem.
That's a problem. I'm not Jesus. Never said I was. And so I feel like, because again, going back to the mafia, I'm just saying, we just found out what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. They put his ass, not only did they kill him, but then they put his ass in the what you call it when you burn up people's bodies in the morgue? The infirmary, what is that called? Not infirmary. I
don't know.
The oven.
I just seen somebody get burnt up in a prison cell. Yeah. American Me.
Yeah. I know. No, this is the Irishman. And so all I'm saying is, I just feel like when the consequences is harder, people would think about the shit they do, because it will catch up to you. And all I want to say is, and this is what I know to be true, when something is this rampant, this has everything to do with us personally in terms of who we surround ourselves in, who we let into our families, our communities, who we choose to protect. Even with the black on black crime, I feel like it'd be different if we handle our own, but because we don't, we do have to rely on the outside world. We really do. Because we don't protect each other like that. This week I thought somebody was in my house. I think because my senses went off. I didn't know. So I couldn't call nobody. I had to call the police. Two big super ass tall white men came. They were big as shit. They're very nice. They came and just checked out everything, because I didn't put my alarm on or whatever, and they checked everything's fine. And the thing of it is that I can't even call other people to come and do that. That's the shit we don't want to look at. So we'll be talking about how bad other groups are, but what are we doing in our own? Because here's my thing: once you clean up your own space, the respect factor will shift for us as black people, but it's not gonna shift because people know we don't protect each other. Right. We're not even. And we're devalued. Right. That's so you can't do you mad at white people for doing some shit, but when you do some shit, you don't say anything.
You know what we should do as a collective? Stop talking about white people for a year.
Ooh, girl, some of us.
Really just focus on just us. Let's just focus on us, the things that we can do. Because I feel like of course you guys know that I know that there are things systematically in place to ensure our demise. But I think a lot of the demising happens with things that we can control.
But that's the key thing. And I agree with you, Dana, but I also think That's like asking black people. We could just be accountable to each other. People hear that word accountability, responsibility, they start running like a motherfucker. They immediately turn. I hate talking to somebody and you talk about what's going to be our response. I don't know, because the man got everything. See, I know I didn't come from a people who did that. The odds were clearly in their face against them. And it was like, this is how we're going to go around it. Immediately.
Right.
Immediately was like, look, we that's always been there.
I think that we have that resiliency.
I agree.
Because we are used to meeting and overcoming obstacles. When I hear the word accountability and responsibility, I immediately think about growth. Because sometimes, because it's painful, some stuff that you have to account for or be responsible for or admit to could be painful initially, but growth comes at the end of that. And so it's a worthy pursuit.
No, I agree with you. I just know that's like telling people who smoke weed not to smoke weed for a week. They be like, oh man, that shit calms me down. That helped me make it. I mean, for real, some of us are so fixated on these people, which is why we can't. And as much as we talked about white people, if we had a store for every time we was fixated on them, our community be looking like Chinatown. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, we need to really, I think we need to shift our focus.
I agree. Sister Sharon, hey Sharon, she said,
I know,
thank you too for bringing up this issue out in the open. This happens in our community to our children by people in our own community. Speak that truth. That's true.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the hardest thing for us to do is to shine that light on self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it has everything to do. We have eyes and ears open. We can see. We know. I mean, I remember once being at a graduation. I'll never forget. I think this was either Sakai or Burbanks. And there was a teacher, and the way he was hugging the students on the stage, I was like, don't this shit look inappropriate? Is it just me?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's so funny you say that because I've seen some questionable behavior too, girl, and I gotta go say something about it too. And I don't even so some of my concern is that, Dana, are you projecting some of your own stuff? Or is this really happening? And then another part of me is like, it does not matter. Just bring it up. Bring it up.
So we all learn something. And it lets people know, just in case you was thinking about it, we got our eye on your ass.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other part. I mean, I come from a community that if somebody moved on the block and they was questionable, their asses got checked. And it was that simple. Yeah. But it seemed like we don't do that anymore because I feel like we live in an era where we're always protecting the person who is the perpetrator and not the person who is the victim. I feel like we live in that culture right now.
Yeah.
We want to talk about restored injustice. And it's like, dude, you did something wrong. Fuck restoring your justice. What about the justice of the community that you fucked up?
Right.
Because again, you quit being a victim when you victimize somebody. Right. It's that simple.
Right.
It's that simple. But again, that comes with one thing I will say about watching the thing with the mafia. They didn't hesitate one time. When it was somebody's time was up, like with Jimmy Hoffa, they was like, we gave this fool 50 chances, and he got to go. And then it was his homeboy, his friend like this, the one that delivered that. And I'm saying to myself, see, that's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not this debate going on like, we're all victims of white supremacy. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Because I know I don't. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of us even get to use that kind of shit considering their ancestry and what they had to deal with. Yeah. I think about them immediately before I go into shit like that. I be like, well, wait a minute. Because my ancestors survived some hell of a shit. So I don't think I really get the opportunity to act like I can't be responsible for my own actions.
Right.
I tell myself that. Because it's like, nah, they done been through some stuff. So I definitely don't get the right to just act like, I can't take no responsibility for my behavior.
Oh, no. You have to. If you want to grow... or just if you want to be right with people, or right with yourself.
Right.
I think that, I know that everybody doesn't have the same moral compass.
They will. By the time you get finished, they ask, yeah, they will. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm just at that place where, I just feel like what's happening with our people is a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
And how can anybody respect us if they know we don't respect ourselves? Like, how would we expect for other people to grant us anything, because we'll fight like hell to sit at the table with people who hate our guts, but won't respect the people who you're at the table with. Right. See, I never understood that analogy.
Right.
But that's just me.
Right.
That's just me.
Yeah, we got work to do.
So let me just say this. I had my nephew on Friday. This is my baby. He's 4. He's so but he kept saying, Coco Melon, Coco Melon. So when I heard the term Coco Melon, I thought about brown people because Cocoa is brown, you eat chocolate, whatever. And then Melon, I don't know where the fuck Melon came from. Melon do, I don't know. When I turned it on, it's a kid nursery rhymes that come, this was a YouTube channel. But, you know, all these nursery rhymes, there's all white kids in there and a bunch of animals. Not no black kids in there.
I just wrote it down so I could look at it.
And I thought to myself, here my nephew is 4, he's watching this. I'm feeling some kind of way. So, and that baby shark shit, that, you know, that get on my nerves. But you know, he's a kid. So I had to turn on Quayle TV. If y'all know who Quayle TV is, y'all need to know. It is a black streaming service. I don't have Comcast anymore. I only have the internet through Comcast.
So is that KWALI?
It's KWELI.
Okay.
TV, and there's nothing but black movies, animation, cartoons from black folks around the world.
Okay.
All over Africa, all over, like black people, wherever we are.
Okay.
And it's all of these different stories. So I had to turn it on for my nephew because there's a lot of black animation. Okay. And I wanted him to see that. It's called Quayle TV. Black only costs like $5 a month. I don't mind doing that. But I thought to myself, again, I could have sat there and complained about all these goddamn white kids talking about baby shark, and get on the bus and all that bullshit. And they showing the family and it's all white people. For real. And my black nephew sitting there watching it because that's what he know. And I was like, no, this Coco is not white people. Coco is black people. Right. So I went to Quayle TV and put on an animation series and he loved it. And we also watched some Schoolhouse Rock. But I'm so crazy. When I watched the Schoolhouse Rock, I basically put on number 9 because a lot of Schoolhouse Rock has black people in it. You understand what I'm saying? It has a lot of black people songs and, you know, the one about Action Word. There's a little black boy sitting in the movie theater and the Superman. And this is Schoolhouse Rock, so I showed them that. We watched some of the Muppets, stuff like that. But we gotta help with that programming with our young people. Yeah, we gotta really turn that Coco Melon shit off.
Right. And so and so it's gonna take
it's damaging as hell.
Yeah, we have to. We gotta be more mindful. I'm just thinking about, you know, when my children were younger, they're all adults now. Oh my God. But anyway, I was just thinking about when my children were younger and just not being mindful, being on survival mode, just got off work, gotta cook, gotta do this, gotta do that. We need to pay attention more what our children are doing and what they going through.
If you don't pay attention now, you'll pay attention later when you go visit them in jail or some shit.
And then you'll be so surprised and shocked and all that. But yeah,
I just know some of this stuff is so solvable, y'all, and it takes time. I think so my nephew has him and his wife had a son. I love him. His name is Chaz. He's so cute. He looked like a little Asian baby though. Every time he smiles, you can't never see his eyeballs and stuff. Sometimes when he's awake, you can't see his eyeballs. But anyway,
he's cute.
I watched how him and his wife they make all of his baby food. They got the whole little setup and everything. They make all of his baby food. So they're not leaving nothing to chance in terms of let's go to the store and buy this outdated baby food that is not sister girl baby food that's organically made, but it's some other stuff. And so it's kind of like, but when you think about the time it takes to make that baby food, you're basically investing into your child in a whole other different way.
Right.
Because everything is an investment. Yeah. So if you put junk in, you get junk out. Exactly. You don't know what these people putting in the baby food. They could put cyanide in the goddamn baby food. I mean, we don't know. Yeah. But the fact that here they are, 2 young people. My nephew just turned 30. I think his wife's 29 or 30. They take time to make their baby's food. Yeah. They have just as busy. They have busy schedules like everybody else. But they know that their children is the world. Their son is the world. Yeah. And so I have a lot of respect for people who take time out. Because people keep like, I'm so busy. Nobody's really ever that busy. I don't know how to tell y'all this.
Well, you could just stop doing some of the stuff you're doing because it don't take long to make carrots.
It's kind of like when you went and got a degree. Didn't you take time out to study? Didn't you take time out to go to class? Didn't you? And that was all for a piece of paper. That's for a piece of paper that somebody could trump up because we're in a system that my uncle used to say, "Blessed memory." That's why it pays to know the playbook. The playbook is history, family. My uncle used to say the white man would never make a law that would convict himself. He would always leave a way of getting out of whatever the game is. We know that all to be true. We have shit on camera, they still get off. I'm saying that to say the most important thing that you can invest in, a most important investment in the future is your children. So if you don't take time with them, if you always worrying about it's all about you, and when you get grown and your kid don't want to fuck with you, you'll know why.
Yeah.
Because they weren't important to you.
Yeah.
But I look at my nephew, all my nieces and nephews, just love. Like the whole world stops for them.
Yeah.
I've canceled appointments because I needed to babysit my nephew. Like, nah, he ain't going over. Come on, I got him. Come on, he gonna go to meet with me. That's an investment.
Yeah, that is.
That's an investment. Mm-hmm. You know, to take time to help them with their ABCs, to not have them in grown folks' conversations. Mm-hmm. That's all, because that's part of the trauma in our community. We got our kids in grown folks' spaces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm from back in the day. My mom used to do the look. I mean, we had to leave because they probably get ready to discuss something. That don't mean I was trying to hear through the wall with glass, but I mean.
And nothing is so urgent. Like, you could just have the conversation later.
Yeah. But I watch people.
Yeah.
It's like we're in a time where I think we get confused with self-care with lack of responsibility and care for our own that we're investing. Because I'm reminded that we brought them here.
Yeah.
If you have children, you made the conscious choice to bring them to this side, because there are options. And I'm not on nobody's view. You're against the 4, but there were options. And so the fact that you chose to bring them all the way here means that you have to be responsible for them.
Yeah. For
what they eat, what they listen to, what they put in their brain, what they put on their bodies. You know, ain't that worse than going to the hospital and seeing people in there for things, including myself, that I know I can control, like with my diet. Mm-hmm. Like I'm pretty much off of me.
How you doing with your hydration?
Oh, much better. So what it was because I have the coolest doctor at Kaiser. So she's I think she's like from Ukraine or Russia or something. She's so funny because she gets on me, but she's a naturopathic doctor as well.
Oh, nice.
So as she was telling me we're gonna switch this and that, blah blah blah, she said, "Are you taking your multivitamin?" I said, "I got a multivitamin," but she's telling me some other things to take. She said, "But I'm gonna tell you, Javon, you gotta listen to this one. I'm gonna tell you this. Right on, Sister Juanita. She told me, she said, you need to be a vegan." And I was like, oh. She said, no. She said, when you're a vegetarian, because you're diabetic, there's too many things in being a vegetarian that will spike up your sugar, like rice, like potatoes, like the thick pastas. She said, a vegan diet, you know, you don't get to eat those kind of things. And you have other things that are options and that would be good for you. So I think I'm just about there, because I really don't have a taste for meat like that, honestly.
So what did you eat for dinner last night?
Oh, last night I had greens that I got from the Nigerian restaurant. It was so good. The spices. I had a little bit of fufu, because you know, I'm learning how to eat my hands more. And I had a little bit of rice. But I didn't go crazy on the rice. And then I had a salad earlier that day, a big salad. But good. I have to come up with things that I can cook that's going to be able to help me. She said, when you're a vegan, this is funny, she's a vegan. She said, I'm a vegan with chocolate. That's no good. I have to get rid of the chocolate. She's so funny. She said, but vegan, she said that vegetarian is too many starches in there. I know, Javon.
I know. I got some.
Javon said, send me a check and say for the years. But Javon, let me say something. You're a master chef. I am not. Okay, I can barely make eggs.
Well, I got some cookbooks coming in next week, so come by the bookstore.
All right, because I got to get it down. But I think for me, it's in the preparation. But as I'm in this slowdown, I'm feeling like I could possibly do it this time around. That's honest to God speaking. I think I could possibly do it, but I think we got to talk about some of these health challenges. And I'm only saying that to say that one of the things, people will make you think that time is against you. So you know you can never beat time, because time just is. But if you slow down, everything else will take care of itself. So sometimes in America, we be in this rat race where we're constantly competing or running against the clock, but you know you can't win. But if you slow down, for me, if I slow down and learn how to cook certain things, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
So I have to really understand that in my head. Or when I go out to eat, I try to get a salad, or maybe not go out to eat that much. Like, that's my truth. Right. So I'm learning that. And I'm also learning to move toxic people to the side. Because I'm not arguing with people no more. That's not good for me. The other thing I said, my blood pressure was a little high, and I knew what that was. Because I don't even eat stuff like that. Part of it is my temperament. So it's kind of like I have to bring that down, because I feel like there's something happening that's urgency and everybody else is chilling. So the person like, well, they'll take care of themselves. So part of the blood pressure is how you react to things. Yeah. And so I have to be like more meditation, more,
Miss
saying
Patricia Franklin, Christy's mom.
I see her last night.
She blessed me, y'all. L-theanine. Do L-theanine, get some L-theanine in your life. Now, let me tell you, I'm not an expert.
What's L-theanine?
I think it's an amino acid.
Okay.
But it's a supplement. But what it really does is it helps you. She told me we were having breakfast one morning, and she told me, she said, it's gonna make you not even care. But she didn't mean that literally, because of course you're gonna care. But it does help the way you're not so high strung, and you're just like, oh, okay. You don't have a sense of urgency either. I mean, you get your stuff done, but you don't do all of the stressing that goes with it.
Right on.
L-theanine. Let me write it so I can know how to spell it, because I got to see what it looks like. Okay. I think it's L-theinin. And I got mine from Sprouts. And y'all, I got to say.
I just started cutting people off.
You could do that too.
And that's helping me, because I went on Friday. I had a doctor on Thursday, and my blood pressure, because I went in that Friday before this, and I was
and it helps with blood pressure. And I think it's,
but I don't have blood pressure. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, but it spiked.
Yeah, and so when I went in on Friday for the dehydration, I didn't know that's what it was, and my body's been giving me all these signals, but I've been kind of like on some other shit, like, oh, that ain't nothing, because sometimes you'll be used to whatever the symptom is.
Oh, yeah. Like you used to being tired. You're not supposed to be tired all the time.
No,
how you just wake up and you tired?
No, you're not. So she said, she's such a good doctor. I just really like her. She's so funny. She's like an accent, but she's so funny. She was just like, she said, oh, your blood pressure look good today. She said, because on Friday when you came to urgent care, it was very high.
That's right, Javon. She said stress affects blood pressure. Yeah.
So I basically was like, take, for me, I want to be here, because I love seeing my nieces and nephews. I mean, especially the great ones. I just want to watching them develop and blah 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 blah. And so for me, it's like, no, I just got to get rid of people and be okay with that. I think that's the other thing. Like, when I learned that things change in time. You ever meet people and be like, how did y'all get that way, or how did that? You start off, somebody, they started off here, and then they end up another place, and you be like, how did that happen? And they always say, time, baby, time. Like, things happening in time. And so I think it's okay to, like, not want to be in the mix with you. It's okay right now you ain't speaking to somebody, because maybe y'all need that rest between y'all. Maybe, it's okay that you don't always get to go to everything. Like, sometimes it's all right. Like, you don't have to show up. I always say you have to show up when it's important. But if it's not important, it's okay too. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, that's the lessons that I'm learning. And not to be arguing over stupid shit. Because I've had some stupid shit arguments with people that really ain't going to change shit in my life. But I argue with you about it anyway, because that was my ego being like, nah, I'm right and that's wrong. When I should have been like, girl, so we have a difference of opinion. Next. That's what I should have did.
That's another thing too. I definitely... And this is so funny, because usually I'm partnered with perfectionists. I am definitely not a perfectionist. So it makes sense that usually I gravitate towards them, because it's a good balance. But I am not a perfectionist, and I'm not this person where it's either black or white. I'm very much gray. And so so coming with that, it's okay to, like, I'm okay if I'm not right. Like, I'm okay if you're right and I'm wrong. I'm okay if you think you're right and I'm wrong. Like, I'm okay. Like, I don't have that need to prove, like, well, no, let me exacerbate this point. Like, I don't need to do that.
So do you think having a partner will help you with those things? Or do you think they add to it?
I think that it depends on what it is.
Okay.
I think it could do either or.
Like with the stress affecting your blood pressure.
Well, some people... Yeah, the stress affecting your blood pressure, you're right. I think some people work well alone, especially planners. People that plan and don't procrastinate, I think they work well alone. I think you could get a lot more done with a group. So if you can work with a group or with a partner, by all means do that. And then go through the challenges that it takes in order to, to get to that happy medium for your desired outcome, if you can. But if it starts affecting your health, then you know that's not for you.
Let me ask you this. You said last year about this time you were going into a bit of a depression or a deep depression. How did you pull yourself out of that?
I'm gonna tell y'all time, y'all. I don't think I felt like this is what it felt like, but I know it wasn't true because I kept showing up for stuff. But this is what it felt like. It felt like I went home in my room one day and just laid down until March. I'm telling y'all, that's what it felt like. But that wasn't the reality. Of course, I got up every day and went to work. Of course, I got up and did, what I'm obligated to do. Mm-hmm. And I did those things, and I showed up, and I, dressed it up, put on some lipstick, smiled. But that's how I know that everybody in your presence is not really present. And you never know what people are going through. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, what it felt like is like I just kind of like checked out for about 3 months. That's what it felt like. What was your question, Queen?
No, how did you know? How did you come out of it?
How did I come out of it? I'm going to say time. People allowing me to process. Have some really good people that were there for me. Just allowing me to process. And then I think one day it was just kind of like, okay, D, you got to be who you say you are and really walk in that. Brush it off. Things happen, keep it pushing because, one thing cannot define you. You have a whole life. And I think that all of us were brought here to, I think each one of us have an assignment. And so we can't let like one perceived failure or one falling out define us. Like it's kind of like it's just in the big scheme of things, it's just one thing that happened. And that really came to teach you and to show you and to grow you. And so I had to just kind of like, I literally had to process that out. And I'm just now starting to feel like myself. Really. To tell you the truth. That's why I know when people say, oh, I'm feeling a little bit depressed. I pay attention to that because depression is a thing and we hide that all the time. We'll just go get our hair done and our nails done and all that. But if you're depressed, you still feel depressed.
There's a lot of people who look good but feel fucked up.
Exactly.
I get that.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's a trip because people would be like, oh, Dana, you look so cute. And I would be going, for real? I would do that because I would be like, oh, for real? Because, girl. But I would be thinking to myself like, oh, I don't feel that way. Not that I don't think I'm pretty or anything like that, but it's like, inside, it don't feel good. So thank you for that compliment, but.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
Not to jump to the conversation, we're going to stay on that real quick. But I guess there was a lot of talk about, is it Lizzo? What's her name?
Girl,
excuse me. What's her name? I want to say it
wrong. I think it's Lizzo.
Lizzo, okay.
But I just found out, I didn't know that she sung that song. Because I would hear that song sometime on the radio if I'm in my car. So, wait a minute.
I guess you twerked at the Lakers game.
Wait, not only twerk, because twerking ain't nothing wrong with twerking.
Okay.
She didn't have no clothes on, right?
Then she lifted up her dress. I don't know.
She lifted it up?
Yeah, like you can see her butt, her butt cheeks. And I don't think it's nothing about her being big. I mean, maybe some people have a problem with being big. But for me, I feel like when you're in public like that, you should. I want my nephew to see a skinny woman or a big woman
right
twerking with her ass cheeks out in front of anybody. So to me, it's not even a thing about body shaming, none of that. We love to have an excuse for responsibility. She could have twerked that shit, but not show the butt cheeks. Like, what
was that part about?
I don't know. I think sometimes we mix
apples. Did you see it?
I went ahead on and watched it. I watched a short clip of it. It was like a thing that came to me, and I just was like,
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
People were talking about it, and I think sometimes it's kind of like when somebody check you for something, instead of you saying, you know what, I received that, you be like, it's because I'm big, huh? Like, there's nobody said that about you.
We gotta stop being so defensive too, because we miss things that we're supposed to get.
You know that was wrong. Hey, sequester, you know that was wrong.
Yeah, don't have your ass out. Come on.
Yeah, so it's nothing about, I don't want to see big ass, I don't want to see skinny ass, okay? I just think when you're at a public place and children are there, you don't get to say your kid get to be exposed to this because it's my right. Again, if you was a victim of shaming or whatever, now you just victimize somebody else with your actions. See, we don't think about that shit.
Yeah. Is that her thing? Is that her rebuttal?
Well, I haven't heard her rebuttal. I just heard people saying, I heard somebody say...
I hear a lot of people defending her.
Yeah, well, we defend murderers in this country. Yeah. We defend pedophilia in this country. We defend bullshit. But we do not protect the victim. So I'm gonna keep saying that.
That's true.
But I also think that's why sometimes sometimes it's hard for us to all be together because we have different standards. And if people don't want their kids exposed to shit, it's not my job to say this is what's good for your kid.
Right.
That's not my place.
Right. That's why I don't think children should learn certain things that they are learning.
Me either. But I think people, you got to be careful that's why I think the world is going to split again. I'm not trying to be funny. We always have these splits. But I think people can only take so much of you trying to tell them what they need for them. When you can't get basic shit down like housing and equity, and you just can't do basic shit for your people, but you want me to be okay with teaching my kid about some shit they don't need to be known about.
Right.
I don't want to see your ass cheeks.
Right.
Shit. I barely want to see my own goddamn ass cheeks sometimes.
Right.
So I'm just saying. So I just feel like sometimes we have to be a little bit more, we have to be a lot more respectful of children and elders in my world. Now, if you with your friends and y'all grimy and you at a grimy concert and you show your ass cheeks in the Twitter
and get on the
go down the pole.
Get in the dirt, right?
Yeah, right. But I think, and then people because you have defects, they love it. I guess the game. This is the funny thing. The cheerleader invited her to come do. So I said they gonna make fun of her fat ass, but she don't even get that part yet.
Yeah,
I'm fat, so I can say that. So people be inviting you. It's like you become the rocket amongst a bunch of stars, you know what I mean? But you think it's a rocket in a good way, but really it's a rocket in a bad way because you know people are going to talk shit about you. You already know that. But that's just me, y'all thoughts.
But also, too, I just still don't get that ass part.
I don't know. I just, like I said, we're dancing and she got up to dance, which is nothing wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong with that.
But you just don't get to show your ass cheeks. That's all I'm saying.
That was extra, like that part.
Kids is at the game.
Yeah.
And everybody is not as so-called, I guess y'all think it's free with your kids, but I'm gonna tell you something. I work with a lot of young people. We are traumatizing the shit out of young people. Why thinking that we keeping it real with them, but you are so traumatizing them because they don't understand why they can't have stuff that they want to have that you claim that they don't need. So when I hear people protecting the right of people to be whoever, but your daughter is struggling on what it means to be a girl because you got her thinking you're not even listening to what it is that she wants.
Yeah.
Maybe she want that the picket fence with the White House and the 2.5 kids and the husband. Maybe she want that. But because you didn't get it and it didn't work out for you, you're going to try to tell her that she don't need it.
Oh, right. No. Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And I know that's not popular because, I find that when people can't do stuff, they make you feel like you can't do it either. It's like
they make you feel like you're inadequate because you want this or you want that or you don't have this and you don't have that.
J. Ross said we sound like conservatives. Of course I love it. We don't want your personal desires affecting the integrity and morals of the greater community. Right on. And I ain't got nothing against this, so I'm not into her music. And y'all better not come for me. LOL. Oh my God. We ain't coming for you. I get you sound conservative. But to us conservative? But see, because if conservative mean that you have some morals and motherfucking responsibility, accountability, then that may make us a conservative. But I just think that's crazy as shit. Like, it's okay. I would never expose if your kid don't eat meat and they come to my house like, me and your mama tripping, eat this meat. That's fucking disrespectful. No, seriously.
That's crazy.
But I feel like that's what we do.
Yeah, that's crazy. Or your child don't eat pork and you know it's pork in the greens and you give them some pork.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's what make people, want to go, off on people. Again, I'm going to go back to that mafia. If they had certain rules. Look, the mafia was so cold, family. Hold on. Do you know when you put a hit on somebody, you had to get that shit approved?
Because that's why Bumpy was protected, huh?
Yeah, but they talked about how that started because they said killing people randomly. Listen, black people, is bad for business. So they came up with a whole system that they organized the mafia because before it wasn't organized. But there was a dude, Lucky Luciano, came up with this concept of the 5 families, and he had a whole rule of how he did shit. But one of the rules he put into place is that if you ordered a hit on somebody, it had to be approved. Because they had a rule where you didn't kill children. Because it was a murder that happened, and it was some women in it, and they had nothing to do with it. They were like bystanders in a bar. And he was like, that's bad for business, and that's not our rule. We don't kill children. We don't do shit like that.
Girl.
Look at it, y'all. Lucky Luciano breaks down his whole history and how he revolutionized the mafia with rules and family structure and all that kind of shit. And whether you agree with it or not, I'm just saying there needs to be some law and order in our community.
Yeah.
Everything does not go.
Right.
Because you can't live if everything goes.
We got to have a bottom. We got to have just some things that we just will not do. We have to have a code of conduct.
Code of conduct.
Code of conduct and a code of ethics, too.
Right on. I just watched that because, I'm like this. I just know that history is the playbook. That's all I got to tell you. Because everybody else is here running on a history, which is their playbook. Mm-hmm. She still don't get to be butt-ass naked in public where she influences others to do stupid shit. Hey, you know what? Stupiditous. Did I say that shit right? Stupiditous.
It sounds like that kind of, but yeah.
Conservative. I hate autocorrection. Oh, I got you. I was tripping on that. Stupidest. Okay, stupidish shit. Okay, I thought you was something new on there. That should be should have said. No, I got you. I thought you was putting a new spin on something. You know how we do it as a people. But I just feel like that's something that we really, really need to look at. And I have no. It's like Hugh Hefner. Let's just go to the Playboy Mansion.
The Playboy
Mansion. They made billions. Excuse me, probably.
He's dead, huh?
But I don't know him like that. I mean, he could
either.
be.
I don't know.
I'm saying, he could be. But he didn't go to a basketball game and have his bunnies walk around like that because that wasn't the area that he was in. And I feel like we gotta quit acting like this has nothing to do with shaming. It has to do with standards and morals. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't go to no basketball game and say, "Bunnies, going out there and do what you do" and all that. He was like, "That's not the time and place for that." And that's why we have the Playboy Bunny Mansion where you get to make real money. And ain't no kids in there. Or no elders or people who that's not they stilo.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
You're right. I get that.
That's all I'm saying.
I totally get that. I totally
just
get
think
that.
like sometimes we be so out of pocket with this shit. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just so out of pocket. That's the best example I can give. But I don't know. Some of these motherfuckers, I'm gonna tell you something about the United States that I learned because history's the playbook. They have a way of help them to identify you, and then they get rid of you.
Mm.
They put you in the bucket.
Mm.
That's all I'm saying. Okay. This boy like the first big sister that can sing and do a backflip and shit. Mm-hmm. Y'all see rerun shit?
I didn't even know she could. So she did the backflip.
No, I'm just saying. Like I mean, her dancing. I just.
What is her thing that she's trying to prove? Is she trying to prove?
She's trying to have big people feel empowered, and I get that.
Okay.
If you're looking for approval from other people, I get that. I mean, and she wants to be seen. Like, hell, we got Madonna. Hell, we got Lizzo. Okay, I'll take that. We got Beyonce. We got Lizzo.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I get that. I swear to God, I do. But I don't remember seeing Beyonce doing certain shit like that.
Yeah, some things you just don't even have to do. Yeah. Yeah.
But,
and if you sure and you confident, you know you don't have to do that. So I don't know. Maybe she's building up her confidence.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe what I'm saying is maybe she's still in process. Obviously, she's still.
I think artists, and sometimes artists are always improving their craft or learning or refining it. Nothing wrong with that. I just feel like like Janet Jackson boob got whipped out. She knew that shit was not on script. Like, oh my God, like she played the shit off, but she knew that shit was wrong. I mean, you don't be pulling your black boob out or boob period. I'm just saying because I'm a sister. On TV like that, you know that was a misfunction, a robe dysfunction or whatever. Like it just mishap, like that wasn't supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. But that's Janet Jackson. I mean, I think people didn't even mind seeing the brown nipple. I don't know, but I'm just saying she knew that. Hey, that's not me, and I'm Janet Jackson, and I like doing shit like outlandish shit. But come on now, we at the football thing, and this is in people's houses.
Yeah, there's a time and place.
That's all
for
I'm saying.
Everything. So you're saying there's a time and place for everything. Yeah.
She go if they let her in the Playboy Mansion, or some kind of freaky deaky bar or whatever. Yeah. Help your damn self.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes people turn off to a certain music.
Mm.
That's why I think I'm not a fan of hip hop. I haven't been a fan of hip hop for like the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you had to pick one that you like, that you could rock with.
Who? One what?
One hip hop artist that you could rock with. Who would it be? Who, if you had to pick one that you could tolerate?
I could tolerate Common Sense. I could tolerate Common, as they call him. I love Mos Def.
Oh yeah, Mos Def.
Lamar. Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his stuff is okay. I like some of what's the other dude's name? oh damn it, J. Cole. I like some of his stuff. Notice I'm saying some because some of the stuff I'm not cool, but some of the stuff I like. You know what I mean? Because again, I was one of those people who was not an NWA fan. So let me just be clear. I like stuff that spoke to my spirit. I didn't come from the bitch nigga culture, so I didn't really. That's not what went on in my environment. But you know, some people love that, and there's nothing wrong with that, honestly. But it's okay to say that's not my thing. That brings me to this conversation in my class at my school this week. The girls were talking about when you're different, how sometimes black people can make you feel like there's something wrong with you because you're not into that. And I'm not gonna front. I do see that with black folks. If somebody's like, if their job, if they are comfortable with being quiet and observing, we think there's something wrong with them. Like, get up, dance. No, that's because you want them to get. Maybe they're cool with just being still and calm and watching.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not to get. That doesn't mean you're not happy because you're sitting somewhere calm and cool.
Right.
You know. So we do this extremism. Still out of pocket as a woman. Do we have to always show our nudity to prove confidence? I agree. She's her question. I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So right.
I agree with you, sis.
That's why I asked what was her. Because I didn't really follow the story. I just seen all the backlash with people trying to defend her. That's all I was trying to get. Why did she do that? Like, does nudity prove confidence? Like, why? Because if you confident, you don't gotta. If you already have that inner knowing that you're sexy, you're this, you're that, you don't need to do all those other tactics. So that's why I was asking you, what was she? I
don't know, but
she's a pretty girl.
We like exotic stuff. But you know, exotic things have expiration dates on them. That's all I'm saying. You know, you part cat, they be like, oh my God, look at this woman, she's part cat. And then a year from now, we be like, what happened to the cat lady? So that's what we do in America. We love you for the minute, and then we chew you up, and then we spit you out like you never even existed. Because then the next Lizzie will come along, and she may even be 10,000 pounds, and people are like, God damn, she could do a flip, and then we forget about the sister who did the flip like just 5 months ago. But I'm just saying, but I get you. I just feel like I think there is things around. Like I did hear Godfrey from the Godcast, and I love watching the Godcast, but he said, and this I think convolute shit. If they could have just stuck to the thing about that being inappropriate by itself. But he was saying, and all the dudes were saying she has a pretty face. And I was like, okay, that's kind of insulting. Like, you know, why can't you say she's just pretty and leave it at that? Even if your truth is that she has a pretty face, why tell her that? Because I'm pretty sure she's heard that shit before.
Or she knows, too.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, like, you telling me that's like, okay, I mean, shit. I mean, you know, you guys want it. Like, I mean, I'm saying, like, you know, people be upset if you said that shit out loud. You know, if you insult men about their penis, that's it. Like, that's it. She said she loved the co-host nails. Yeah, it said you're pretty blue. I told you that last week.
Thank you.
Because it goes good against her skin tone. I just love it. But anyway,
you sure did say that. Thank you.
So, I'm just saying, like, I feel like we noticed this thing there about, you know, her face or whatever. Somebody said it's like dating Max Headroom, or they could, like, you know, and I was like, yo, that's kind of insulting. But I feel like it really, the color, it is banging. I don't know, I just feel like sometimes we get convoluted and we can't stay on task in terms of this being inappropriate. It has nothing to do with the size. That's all I'm saying. It has nothing to do with the size.
Right.
For me.
Right.
It had nothing to do with it. But I can see where, you know, sometimes we just get lost. That's all I can say. Sometimes we get lost and we get out of topic, and then we wonder why, you know, other communities have a hard time respecting us because they feel like we don't have any damn morals. And we can't even admit sometimes that we don't have morals.
Right.
How about that? Because, you know, anything goes, and then it's like, well, can we have that same attitude when it comes to building some shit?
Right. Right.
I'm cool, anything goes, and we could do that shit while we building some shit, you know.
Right.
But we just want to always, I don't know, we want to always justify our bad behaviors instead of saying, you know what, I stand corrected, thank you for that. That was not my intention. I forgot where I was, or because sometimes I've said shit where I forgot where I was. It was like, ooh, Lord Jesus.
I think one time we was live and forgot. Remember we was chopping it up, and a lot of times we forget that we live. But yeah, that happens, and just being open to correction. I don't think that we have to be so defensive. I don't think that you know, I think that, and also too, I think that in our culture, like if you make a mistake or you there was something that you did that wasn't desirable, I also don't think that it should be the end of the world either. You get what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like, just like, give me the opportunity to apologize, and.
Do you think some of that comes from growing up and not having anyone hold you accountable? Because I'm super accountable, because my mother was super accountable, and she always helped us to be accountable. Like, we just couldn't show up and be like, the dog ate my homework. She'd be like, yeah, you damn. We were always accountable. Mm-hmm. She didn't try to act like, I'm going to protect my kids, even my kids wrong. No. That was not me.
My moms didn't play that. I remember one time, y'all, I stole. So 50 cents was a lot of money when I was a little
nickel
girl.
Was a lot of damn money.
Y'all, you could get some cupcakes, some Doritos, and a soda, I think, for 50 cents. Or maybe it was 75, but 50 cents, I remember being rich with 50 cents. Y'all, why did I steal? From the local grocery store. Ford's Grocery in Hunters Point. Anybody from Hunters Point, y'all know. At that time, we lived on Palouse. I was going to the little Catholic school down the street. And y'all, Mr. Crawford seen me. Because back when I grew up, everybody raised you. Like, when I was a little girl. And I never forget, I'm walking, Mr. Crawford seen me. And
he seen you steal it?
Well, I guess the look on my face, because people were so in tune. They were that in tune. How you doing, little girl? What you doing? What's going on? And of course, my house right around the corner. By the time I got to the house, they knew I had stole this stuff. I don't know how. I don't know if Mr. Ford had told. I don't know what happened. Y'all, I had to go back and give them people back their stuff. And I got the worst whooping of my life. But I don't know what hurt me more. Getting the actual whooping or having to show these people, they see me grow up. I wasn't even grown.
That helps you to have accountability when you're older. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, my parents didn't play that. If you stole something, if you did something wrong, you get to you're gonna get to be held accountable for that. But another thing too, I want to say, now that I know what karma is, I think I've had it. I think I was born with that, knowing that what you do comes back to you. So that's why when I would come home and mom would be like, oh, okay, well, how was school? Oh, I didn't go to third and fourth period. And my sister, I had an older sister and a little sister. I'm the middle child. My older sister never understood why I would just tell on myself. But I always felt like, because when you start lying, you got to remember that stuff.
Yeah, that shit work.
It's just a lot. I'd rather just go on and tell the truth, girl.
But I also, so you're making my point exactly. The fact that someone held you accountable made you take it back.
Ooh.
That was major.
Miss Ford, their daughter, Kathy, and all these people is looking at like, Dana, you stole from us. Mr. Crawford was involved. I don't know how Mr. Crawford, I still don't know how he knew.
But you know what? But that has everything to do with who you are today. I know a lot of people who can't take accountability for nothing, because the very people that, brought them to the planet don't allow them to be accountable. Didn't provide the way for them to understand accountability. Because what your parents gave you was a lesson in being accountable. That stealing is not something that we do. That's not a part of our culture. And now you get to take that back. I had something. So I stole some quarters from somebody once. And my mother knew, like, hey.
How did they find out?
Because I bought some stuff. I don't know how much money I got.
Yeah.
So not only did I get to ask her about my life, but she made me take shit back to the lady whose house I was in helping her.
What did you buy?
Some candy and shit, penny candy, the little drink, the little barrel looking drink, the color drink and shit like that. We was poor. We didn't, my mom, see what I think, poor people have more values than the so-called privileged people. Because we grew up with a lot of values and culture, so even though we didn't have a lot of money, we always had food to eat, we always had a nice place to live, but we did not have disposable income. So if I came in the house with a pack of annihilators, because that was my shit, my mom was like, where you get the annihilators from?
And so you came in with more than that.
I did.
And so what did you say? So you didn't think to hide it?
I didn't lie, no.
I just come with it.
My mother would investigate. Now I really gotta ask for the end of punishment.
Yeah.
And
then your mom don't trust you. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, my mom made me do shit like, she gonna work this off. So what can she do to work this off? Be like,
Did your parents ever say, if you lie, you will steal, and if you steal, you
you'll
will kill?
Yes.
So I never wanted to be, I didn't want to be that. I knew that was something that you did not want to be.
Bam, Sequestra said something. She said, your parents taught you how to lose. Now everybody gets a trophy. That's what it is.
Ooh.
That's what it is. Thank you, Sequestra. Because we think it's about, I'm going to stand. I hear people say, your kid to murder somebody. I'm going to have my kid back. On a murder? Do you hear what you're telling me? So, I get that, Sequestra. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, no, let's do this. Let's do this, y'all. Right there. What if your child did murder somebody? I'm not saying that we should condone it. But when we say have the person back, does that mean what? Go to court with them? Does that mean what? Write them letters?
You defend their action. You don't know as my son. You know your son. Why can't you sit there and have some empathy? I'm so sorry for the loss. I'm going to give y'all a good example. When my niece's father was murdered, and then they ended up catching the dude. Because this dude didn't even have a record. But anyway, so they called him. And so his mother went to court. It was a time when they had to do the sentencing. And so this woman got up. This is my niece's grandmother. And let me just tell you the power of who you know your children is. And this is why I think people have lack of respect for us to a degree. Because we create cultures where there's no accountability. You're not known as a good person. You're kind of known as people who defend bad behavior, so there's no justice in your world, in your immediate world. We know about the outside world, but I was taught that in our immediate world, we do have justice in our immediate world. In my mama's house, there was justice. Mm-hmm. And so when she got up to get the impact statement, she looked over at the people's family, and she said, I don't hate your son. I knew who my son was. And I could have easily been sitting where you were sitting because I know the world that my son was in. And I don't hate your son. I just hate what he's done. He's taken my baby. But I know this table could have easily been reversed. And I thought to myself, this woman, her statement was so impactful that they had to do a little break because the judge got teared up. Because that was a real mother being honest about who her son was. Mm-hmm. She didn't dress him up like he was an angel. Didn't mean she didn't love him, but she was honest.
Yeah. That's
about the world her son was living in, and she didn't try to say, oh, it's because of this or because of that. She was like, he got caught up, he was out there, he was doing shit, and I love my son,
but I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I could have easily been, my son could have been the murderer of your son.
Yeah,
that's just not the way the tides went. But she knew the world he was in. The world, and so I think so. We're really hard. It's really hard for us to deal with people that came through us that aren't right.
Because then you think like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? But there are parents who feel like they did everything they possibly could.
And he had a 2-parent household, the whole nine.
So I didn't say that I'm never one of those people to say what my child didn't do. Like my son would never do that. My daughter would never do that because you really don't know. My mom used to say that too. I'll never say what you guys didn't do. Of course you know
my mom said, I don't know what my kid would do. They're not my sight. I raised them.
This is how I raised them. Right. But my mom raised me to do a lot of things. I don't necessarily subscribe to it. So it's something about when this thing that I remember I asked my aunt, why do we have free will? I don't know if did y'all go to Sunday school when y'all growing up?
Well, I didn't go to Sunday school, but I know about free will. Go ahead.
And they were talking about free will in Sunday school. And I was thinking, well, why would you have free will if you could do wrong things? And I remember I asked my aunt that. But that's the thing, free will. You could raise someone to be a certain way. I mean, things happen.
I always think about Dr. Dyson and his brother. That's the best example. Dr. Eric Dyson.
Okay, I know Eric Dyson. And he talked
about his brothers in prison. He was like, we came up in the same house.
Oh, yeah.
And I will always remember, like, you can tell your kid all that. I think about even with this sex trafficking. Some of these people, they know better. But I think in our mind, this is what I did learn from Hitler. When you, did
y'all hear what she did?
I learned this from Hitler, for real.
Okay.
Hitler knew he had to, in order for his campaign to work, he had to make you feel like the people we're going to annihilate, that they're not really human. So you have to devalue the person in order to do shit to them. So, for instance, when there's black on black crime, black people immediately
you have to hate yourself.
Yeah, well, or you could say hate yourself, which I think sounds kind of like a cliche. You have to make yourself feel like those people aren't as valuable as me. So when we have a society that has slaves in them, in order to have slavery, you had to make the enslaved Africans feel like they're not really human.
Right.
So if I treat them a certain way, it's good because they're really not me. Because I'm a human and they're not.
Right. They're 3/5 of a human.
Right.
I am human.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I know that's kind of like a hard kind of thing, but people don't want to do that. Good morning, Tina. You want me to
I know. Good morning. And Queen Sequester says, if my child is guilty, she must be held accountable. I will support him or her through the process.
That's what I'm saying. I think we get that confused.
But I get that because that's how it would be for me, girl. My heart would be aching. But you don't.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think people get that totally screwed up. And I also feel like if you're a parent and you're the reason why your son is so fucked up like that, I think you should be held accountable. You should have to pay a special tax for fucking that person up. But that's just me. I think we could solve some of this tax issue. People probably won't have no job though, because some of y'all produce a whole tribes of fucked up people. So your whole paycheck will be gone.
Wow. You think they should just go on and garnish it out your check?
Yeah, I think if you had if you had 10 kids and you produce, say if you produce one bad kid out of there, but it really came from your example, what you put into them and lack of account, whatever, you should have to pay the special I fucked up my kid tax. But if you produce,
and where do that money come from? No. Where do the money go to?
To communities where it was affected by your son's wrongdoing. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Because I think people would be more, they would think
it would hit different, huh?
Yeah, people like, because I ain't paying that special tax.
Yeah, it would hit different.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. You don't get this shit right, son.
Right.
Like, you would, a daughter, you would,
Yeah.
That's just what I think.
Yeah.
So this is an article that says open-minded people have different visual perceptions of reality.
Oh, God.
Now, I agree with that.
Me too. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because if I'm being closed-minded, my whole world look totally different.
Everything, even your continence, you're just
your consciousness is just different.
Yeah, it's different. You move different. You could literally tell the difference before you even know that the person is open-minded or not. You could just tell. You could just tell in their conversation and the way they move in the world.
And I agree with that. It's pissing me off when people, when their world is fucked up, but they want to try to make you believe that so is your world too. And I be like, dude, I just don't believe that shit. You know what I mean? To you like, the world is messed up. Well, maybe for you. No, for us. Ain't no us. You don't get to drag me into us. That's like you robbing the bank and say we got problems. No, I didn't rob no goddamn. You robbed the bank. How is your robbing the bank my problem? I'm just saying.
Depending on who you are, it may impact me or affect me, especially if I care for you, but no.
Yeah, I'm talking about in terms of your perception. That's like being somewhere, and I get this a lot. I smile a lot because I'm a smiler. My daddy was a smiler. And people like, what you smiling for? What's there to be happy about?
Oh my God!
And I'll be like, who the fuck you talking to?
I know.
Like, I be trying not to get down where they are, but I'll be like, dude, I'm smiling because I love life.
Yeah.
Now, maybe your life is fucked up, but mine ain't.
Well, so what makes me smile? First of all, you know that when you smile, a chemical releases in your brain.
Go ahead, bust that science down. James.
Yeah, and it does have a calming effect. That's number one. But number two, or maybe that was number two. Number one, my mom used to always say, I'm always deep in thought. So that's why I really need to practice mindfulness, because I can be here with you and thinking about 20 different things in my brain, right? So I know that, girl, I done lost my train of thought. See? See? What was we just talking about?
We were talking about the perception, like your perception. If you open-minded people have better perception. I was saying sometimes people tell me what you got something to smile about, and I'll be like, because my life, I'm good with my life.
I've had people say, I don't know where I was going, y'all, but see, that's just how you know I'm not. Yeah, I got issues, but I've had people say to me, why you smiling like everything is all right? Because I would be smiling in times when everything is not all right. But it really helps you. It has a calming effect. it really does. It has a calming
I
effect
just
on
feel
my
like,
life. But that's what I was trying to say. What made me also smile more is because I always have a lot of things on my mind, and when I'm thinking about things, I tend to look mad. But I'm not really mad. I'm just thinking. I'm processing. And so my mom used to always say, why you all frowned up? Don't be frowned up. So now I make a conscious effort to smile, because when I'm thinking about stuff, I probably do look mad.
I get that. I get that, because sometimes people say black women look so serious. We have a lot of shit on our minds. So that's number one.
Yeah.
But I also know, sometimes I'll be sitting there like this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Me
me
too.
That's because that's just like how I feel. Like I don't want to be,
you don't
really wrong.
You don't want to be in a dark place.
No, I don't.
So sometimes you just gotta fake it till you make it. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you gotta, but when you smile long enough, you do start feeling like, oh, okay, everything is okay. It's gonna be okay.
Right on. No, I agree with that. Final topic, real quick. I posted all the things we talked about today. The articles in the box already. The last thing is why we desperately need to bring back vocational training in schools. I agree with this article. Because when you look at other communities, one of the reasons why the Hispanic caucus is so powerful, they're not all college graduates. They're not all doctors or lawyers. They're powerful because they still have gardeners and mechanics and plumbers and they're not so caught up in we want to prove
lawn care,
everything,
painters,
everything. Because who's going to do that for you?
Yeah, they have specialization. Right. And that's what
and we don't talk about that as much. Sometimes we just think everybody not going to college, y'all.
And
that's
everybody is not going to college. And that's okay. And they shouldn't be made to feel bad. But even with your college
graduate ass, you still need somebody to come do your plumbing, cut your lawn, clean your house sometimes. I mean, you need those other folks. Let me tell you something. That's what helps your economy.
Yeah.
And I think some of the reason why black people's economy is so fucked up is that we don't have those people.
That helps build your infrastructure. So then you could really start talking about infrastructure.
Right on.
If you have those people in those special trades.
Any thoughts on that?
I know.
We get kind of,
I know, huh? Because I think that we bought into the fact that our children must go to college. They must go. And college, that's good.
Cool.
That's good. I'm not hating on that or nothing.
Ain't nothing worse than seeing a college graduate not being able to change a goddamn tire. Ain't nothing worse than seeing a college graduate can't unclog their sink. Ain't nothing worse than a college graduate that can't do real basic shit like sweep their own damn floor and clean their own damn house and babysit their own goddamn kids. Nothing worse than that. That's all I'm saying. So education is cool, but I think we on education overload in our community. I really do. And there's Sequestra, you are so right, Queen.
What is Sequestra?
Oh my gosh, she said there is so much money in the trade.
Yeah.
If I had to do it over again, I would have went into a trade. Say that.
Okay, what trade would you have went into? I'm just curious.
Thank you, sis. Because you have a blissful, beautiful moment.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not dissing college. I think it's great.
Do we ask everybody? Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm not dissing college, but I also think it's overrated. You know how many unemployed graduates I know?
With master's degrees.
Yeah.
And they looking for a job.
Yeah. And you end up going into one of these trades anyway?
Oh, but you have to pay that college tuition. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, it is a lot.
And I think we shouldn't look down because it was those people who helped us to get where we are.
Right.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Did we ask everybody what they want to say? What they're looking forward to saying goodbye to in 2019?
Yeah. What you looking forward to? We probably gonna do this a few more times before the new year comes.
Oh yeah, I know. And it's not even a New Year thing. I think it's something. But what I'm looking forward to saying goodbye? Being busy, doing a whole lot of nothing. Have y'all ever been like just spinning your wheels, and you going and you moving fast and you busy and you this and that, and you're not even really hitting your target. You're not even really doing anything. I don't want to do that.
Sister Bree, she said the money you have to pay back. Go ahead.
Yeah, the money you have to pay. That's what I'm looking forward to saying goodbye to.
I'm looking forward to saying goodbye to having to be on all fights. I'm going to learn to appreciate my lane and when to step into other lanes, but not trying to, be all, have the hiccups. I can't be grown no more. Being all things to all people. Like, nope, this is my lane. Nope, I'm not into this. This is my lane. Nope, I don't want it. This is my lane. I'm looking forward to doing it. Doing that because I'm already practicing on that.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. So, question saying linemen for co-ed, they start at $90,000 and they train you for free.
Lineman, forgive my ignorance. What's a
lineman? Is that the person that's on the telephone poles?
Ooh, that
is it? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm thinking of the song "My Man's a Lineman for the County." Is that the lineman we're talking about?
That's a song.
Yes, by Cassandra Wilson. I'm pretty sure somebody did it before her, but I only know Cassandra Wilson's version of it. But that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to staying in my damn lane, working it.
She said, "Yep."
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to making a better plan to move into my 50s. No, really. Because, when I was growing up, when people were like in their 50s because they worked hard, they just look whoa the fuck out. And I don't want to do that because I think they paid enough for me not to do that. So I'm saying, and I'm not dissing nobody. I'm so grateful for my ancestors. I am so grateful for your journey, your sacrifices, everything that you gave. But I can't go out of here at 52, if I can help it. And I think I can help it by adjusting my diet, my thought processes, not being all things to all people. I come from women who are all things to all people. That shit does not work for me. That shit will kill me. And it's not. I'm not ready to go yet. Unless it's a different.
Well, I don't want to go out like that.
Yeah.
I want my transition to be as smooth as possible.
And who they loved. I cannot leave that out. Because if you don't have a good mate who loves you and to hold you up and all that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like
real
that
talk.
That can really affect how you live. Because women in my family die from loving their men harder than their men ever loved them. And I just ain't going out like that.
Yeah, that's a lot. I love hard
I'd rather
too.
smoke a cigarette. No, I'm just kidding. No, go ahead.
You say you rather smoke a cigarette?
Yeah, it's a joke. Like back in the day when somebody used to do these, be like, like shit.
So it's kind of like I could have had a VA.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm looking forward to is not going out of here like that. And I think that's what it means that history is the playbook for me. Meaning I'm learning some stuff not to do because I want to be here. And I want to know what a good relationship is. I mean, I do now, but when you're growing up and you're not seeing good relationships, it affects how you see relationships.
That's true.
You be thinking arguing is a part of a relationship all the goddamn time, fighting and having makeup, sex. I don't want to do that shit. I learned that early. That's not my lane. I wasn't built for that. I don't want to do that. I want to know what it's like to see, to be in a relationship with a person. And I've experienced that myself. I'm saying it was really different. I was with someone and this person catered to my every need. I was so not used to that.
Yeah.
I would even start looking for an argument like, why are you so goddamn nice to me? And they'd be like, what's the fuck wrong with you? You all right?
Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because people are supposed to be nice to me. You know that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, mates and partners. You ain't never lost person. I just know that, in order for us to change this whole thing, like this morning, somebody was playing something. They had, I guess, a Women Talk with God podcast. And to hear women say stuff like, well, I know my man is the head. And so even as I'm working, I have to consider how it makes him feel. And I thought to myself, help me the fuck out. Like,
Wait, back up.
So the woman was saying
even
that
when I'm working.
She said even when she's working for God, listen to this, she has to always consider her husband because he is the head. And so even if God tell her to do something, I have to really consider how that's going to impact my husband. And I thought to myself, that don't make no motherfucking sense. But that's just me. So for me, I try to stay away from doctrines that can almost be like slavery.
Okay.
So it's a thin line between liberation and slavery. The line is very thin. We think this shit is a broad bridge, but it's thin because the very thing that can liberate you can enslave you. You ever was a kid and you experienced a traumatic event and say you was molested or something like that, you swore off all men. Like, I ain't fucking with no men, I ain't fucking with no boys. That may work for you all the way up through high school. So you're not going to get pregnant or no shit like that. But then as you become an adult, then it fucks with your ability to be with another person and then to have healthy children. So, and if in those years you use something to help protect you, for that time period. When you become an adult, it fucks up your perception of love and intimacy and being able to build family and community and have children and all of that.
Yeah.
So even though it protects you because it was something that was horrific, but it also ended up making you a slave. Like you end up building a wall that you can't even get the fuck out of. People can't even come in and help your ass because the wall is so thick.
Yeah, it's so tall.
Yeah.
It's so deep.
So,
that makes sense, bro.
So I just feel like, and you raised the question with that partner thing, that's a whole nother topic.
That is.
Maybe that's something we'll look at, because I think some of us want it, but it's also, we'll say stuff like, we got this program, a man with a good job, a good car. I mean, we'll come up with those things, but you can have a good job and be stingy.
Or you could have, exactly. Yeah, you could have a good job and be a wounded individual.
But I don't want no broke person to sharing, because what they got. You see what I'm saying? The shit is tricky.
So we had so much fun with James.
Ah, damn! You gonna bring James? I don't know how many of y'all was on here last week.
Why was we crying? I think that's when we forgot we was live.
Yeah, but that was so funny because I couldn't stop laughing. Because I know I'm.
Because y'all, why y'all would have been with James? You wanted George, right?
No. You no. I like the ambition of George.
Okay.
And I didn't want to be with George Jefferson, but I'm saying, like, I feel like there's these things where, one minute we'll be like, I want a man. It's like, I want a man who would work as hard as I'm working. I'm just saying when I was younger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't want to be with somebody who's broke and then they share everything. Well, what do they got to share? You know what I'm saying? No, seriously. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's nice to be nice, but if you don't have if he's struggling, not broke, struggling to have the hustle to do better, then bam, I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'm with that. But I don't want nobody broke like, I'm giving you love. Love is not paying these bills.
I'm giving you love too. Right?
You ever take love to the bank? You can't get shit with love. They escort you out the bank and they may put your ass in the straitjacket.
So you can't tell Smud that I'm working on this.
My man loved me, and so
my man loving me. We loving each other so hard,
but we can't pay his bill. So that's what I'm saying. I think there has to be more of a balance, more of a conversation, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I just feel like it's a question you hear. So I just feel like that, like people saying 2020, I want the right mate, but I also feel like you have to be right too.
Water seeks its own level, right so on. You can't be a person looking for half a person to make you whole. You gotta already be the whole person.
I think two holes make a whole.
Two holes make a hole.
That's what I think. Cause you can have two.
So you don't want to have two halves.
Yeah, I don't feel like filling
just
nobody.
Playing with you.
No, I don't feel like filling nobody up.
I can't, because it's hard to fill yourself up.
I hate when I hear men say, "My wife raised me." That shit that don't sound right.
I know, but I've heard so many people say
that don't sound. That just don't sound right. We can support each other.
Yeah.
I'm so into to the balance of us, but I think that's too much pressure. Like, why I gotta groom you and what about my needs?
Yeah, because I gotta take care of these deficiencies in me.
Yeah, but that's part of. I think that's part of the program. I hate to say that sometimes we get out of religious stuff sometimes too, because the woman is more than ever religion. I say to myself, how you gonna come on here and give somebody advice, and your shit don't sound right?
I know. That's why, girl. Yeah.
But I also think sometimes that shit comes from desperation.
Ooh, break that down. Break it down.
I think sometimes when you think you're not gonna, I ain't raising no one. I used to question. She said she ain't raising nobody. That's how I feel. Shit, I raised my damn self.
And she said, "Love is an action, so bills must be paid."
That brought me I would watch the Schoolhouse Rock, and action is a word like boating and flying and that ing on there. Love ing.
Yeah.
But what I meant by that was, what the heck did you just say? That's a laugh. I got distracted.
No, it was something that I wanted you to break down. You said something powerful, but I wanted you to break it down.
I can't even remember what.
And you know this is sick too.
Yeah, I just can't. Something about do with love, but I'm just saying. I just feel like we just have to be very clear. It's not my job to raise you. It's not just we can love on each other. We can build together. You know what I mean? I totally get that. But I feel like there has to be a balance. And the yin, you know how the yin and the yang looks.
Yeah.
You know, this person like I like it sometimes when a person is more like a protector, because sometimes I'll be way out there. and they have to be like, baby, that wasn't a good fit.
Don't do that.
Or no, so and so can't move in here because I'm like, well, they homeless. Well, they got to find another mission, baby, because they point out to things that I just gonna overlook because I'm seeing the person's immediate need.
And plus we're nurturers, and we're like, I think that women are a little bit more touchy feely than men, right?
Yeah, some women are, because some women are cold as hell.
Oh, really?
Oh, girl.
Girl, look how you looking like, girl.
No, I'm serious, because I come from the place where I grew up women who were touchy feely and lovely or whatever.
Me too.
But I met some girls who was cold as ice in a relationship, and I'd be like, God damn. Like, you didn't feel no kind of way about
trauma.
Yeah, but I also think sometimes that may be because we all learn from our environment. We're all products of an environment. So if I was with a mom who was very nurturing, then I'm gonna be very nurturing. If I was with a mom who was cold blooded as hell, I may be cold blooded as hell. I know people don't like sharing. They don't like sharing anything. They can have like 10 cakes, and this person don't have no cake. They won't even give them one cake. It's like, dude, you got fucking 10 cakes. You'll have 9. Nah, shit, get on. I have to earn this 10. That's cold. So, because we do possess both good and bad, yin and yang, up and down, left and right.
Absolutely.
So some women get more right. Some women get more of some things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and then some women could be raised in someone who's so giving that they feel like they don't want to give shit away because they didn't see the person get nothing back. So if you watch your mom be like Superwoman and nobody took care of her, you be like, that's the last goddamn thing I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Cause y'all don't take care. I said this, y'all don't take care of Big Mama. Y'all ride Big Mama. Her feet be swollen.
I
and shit,
know you gotta rub her feet and
there.
lotion her legs and just.
They still be in there using Big Mama. Big Mama be sore, exhausted, tired. Y'all be like, that's Big Mama's job. We supposed to ride her like a
supposed to ride her like a mule.
Yeah, it's like, nah, And I know we don't.
We gotta take care of our elders better.
Yeah. But we don't. And she's right. Self-love is important. Balance is the key. You're absolutely right. But I do think this thing, because people say, I'm looking for a mate. 2020, God, bring me the man. And then he bring you what you're used to, which don't work.
Or what you can attract, what you attracting, yeah.
But I agree. But I also think that people are used to certain behaviors. So you'll be saying you want a good man because you looking at somebody else's good man, but you don't even like people like that because they too corny for you.
Oh,
too peaceful, too powerful. But you want
somebody to pull your hair, or
you want somebody like, bitch, come here. Like you want that dude. I'm just giving an example, y'all. It's kind of extreme.
Girl,
I'm sorry, that's kind of extreme. And so somebody's like, hey baby, hi honey, hi. Some of us aren't used. We say we want that, but we're not really used to that. Because it don't feel genuine because you ain't never been around nobody that's like, hey, babe, this is my love. Here goes some water. We're going to spend time together. We're going to cuddle on the couch. We're going to, the person going to have their money down, they have. And, some of us not used to that. So we'll say we want something.
Okay.
But we don't really want it because we can't, we ain't used to that. You understand what I'm saying? I know that sounds kind of jacked up. But, we're really not used to that.
Okay.
Some of us, not all of us.
Right.
And I think we got to look at that if we're saying that's what we really want in a mate.
Yeah.
We got to really look at, like, why are we attracted to people like that? Why are we attracted to righteousness? In a good way. Not righteousness in the pimp way. Because it's the pimp righteousness.
Well, what's the difference between a pimp righteous and...
Because pimps have games, too. And there's a righteous side to that. Like, I'll pimp you, but I'll buy you some clothes.
Gotta break that down.
I'll pimp you, but I'll buy you some clothes. Because that's the righteous thing to do.
Well, I'm gonna whip you.
I'm going to pimp you, but I'm going to give you a place to live. Because that's the righteous thing to do. Because, you did pimp for me, but now I'm going to make sure you have a place to sleep. So you have to be very careful. One of my favorite lyrics by Sting is, poets, priests, and politicians, and I'm going to add pimp to that, have words to thank for their position. We scream for their words of submission because nobody's jamming their transmission. And that was from Sting.
Say that again. I'm so sorry, but you got it.
Poets, priests, and politicians, and I'm going to add pimp to that.
Okay.
Have words to thank for their positions. We scream for their words of submission because no one's jamming their transmissions. Now, Amen.
Amen.
So,
and say amen again.
Amen.
Amen.
So I said, oh, that made so much sense. Because, you know, we love to feel good with words. And we scream for them more.
And words do make you feel a certain type of way.
Yeah. And then, you know, ain't nobody stopping them from saying what they saying. Don't nobody get up and be like, preacher, shut up. They may be like, shut up and say that again. You know, stuff like that. But we don't be like, we just said. I have been in the church and heard a pastor say something and be like, did he just say that shit out loud? And then we just start clapping for him?
But sometimes I think people not listening. I think they be doing something else. It's kind of like you see a song with a tight beat and you bobbing your head, but when you really realize what they saying.
Look here. Hitler, history's the playbook. Hitler had all those people out there like this. You ain't gonna tell me all of them was brainwashed, and none of them agreed with him. Yeah, you're right. I'm just saying. Girl. When Cecil Rhodes was cutting off an African's hands, you ain't gonna tell me nobody was like. I mean, they didn't have no. You know, the white people had hands to clap. Black folks didn't. But you mean to tell me they just was agreeing with him and they. And words sounds power. That's real talk. We know that. That's what motivates. You ever hear something like, I was somewhere once and I heard somebody say something and it made me jump completely out of my goddamn seat. I was like, oh, what did you just say?
Yeah, because you can feel that. You can feel it.
That's power, though. Yeah, words carry a spell. That's what it means when somebody cusses you out.
Yeah.
Somebody says, I just got cussed out.
Carry a spell.
Yeah. When somebody says, I just got cussed out. Now, you know what that means.
That means you just got checked?
Yeah, but cussed out means that people just spit all on you. Like, they cussing somebody out, you just like, you take them down some pegs. Like, you motherfucker. We know that's not built to make you be like this. Right. It's built to make you be like this.
Well, depending on how it's done, it might build you up.
Well, you know, some of us is so crazy. Look at your president.
Who said?
Hey, it's a question. Okay. And you know he done got cussed out a few times. That would make him feel powerful.
But he couldn't cast no spell on me. No, you gotta get up. Yeah.
No, hold on. I'm saying
because he don't even have a lot of words.
No, you know, but the thing about when she said, "Look at your president," he gets cussed out all the time, and he feels just as motivated. He even goes to that space, but he does this. You ever see him put his head up? Because immediately he like that shit ain't phasing me. I know I'm ignorant. But that shit don't faze me. How many times somebody get cussed out and they be like, I ain't even tripping on this heifer. Because you try to keep your head up. Because you immediately do like this. Like, that's going to pass by me. I'm going to use that as fuel. But I do believe when you get by yourself, you know that, hey, sis, beautiful sis, Ebony, I just feel like words do carry spells and all that. I get all of that. But I also know that it's how you, because, you know, we get cussed at. Sometimes black folks get cussed at a lot. We be like, I'm going to do me. Humpty Dum. Y'all say Humpty Dum? Back in the day, somebody would be like, Humpty Dum. I ain't even. We say
what does that mean,
Humpty Dum? Like, and like, miss me with that shit. Okay. That's a 70s thing. Last night I was in a Bentley. I got a ride to my car. Yeah, Mr. Franklin. I love his car. It was so nice inside that damn Bentley. And he opened the door and said, these are suicide doors. Do you remember that term in the 70s? So that means when the doors go like this. Yes! Okay, I thought, because the elder was like, what word is that? And I was like, y'all never heard it? I remember that from the 70s. When somebody had some suicide doors like that. The power of the tongue can bring you up or down. Right on. Right on. Because some people get turned on when you cuss them out.
That's true.
I'm thinking of somebody in particular, and I'm like, this person always get cussed out. And I be trying not to laugh, because I really think this person is probably submissive at home. Because this person be going in, and I'll be sitting there like, I'll be like, Londa, don't start laughing. But I think that this person gets turned on by getting cussed out. It's like the attention, like. And this is no domestic thing. This is just like, if you ain't yelling at her, she don't get it. It's like, I don't want to yell at you. Like, just do what the fuck I say. Because like, she wants to. Person give her an order, she want to do it the way she wants to do it. Then the person be like, that's not what I said. And I'll be like, then she gets it right. I'm like, isn't that shit exhausting, getting cussed out all the time? Right. Man, words have power if you allow it in your consciousness. Say that again. Yeah. But sometimes people say words and it go right through you. Yeah. Like people, like the N word. I'm not trying to be funny. Well, my uncle, bless his memory, Uncle Stanley, when he used to use that word, you felt it. It was not nothing that was meant for positivity. Or MF. He would be like,
that was my word.
He would be like, them stinking ass niggas. And it would just be like this way. You'd be like, who is you talking about? You know, because he didn't use it as a term of endearment. You just knew it was like, oh my God, like don't ever use my name in the that word.
Right. You never want to be associated with that.
Right on. So. That's man, funny. So we gotta wrap up. It's 11:03, girl. We gotta wrap up.
We gotta wrap up, but you know what? It's been a pleasure sitting here with you, Queen.
I know. Next week I'll be telling you about the Men of Honor one, because that's next week.
Yes, the Men of Honor is next Saturday. Also, so the Men of Honor is 11 to
1.
11 to 1. After y'all, the Men of Honor is going to be at John Steele Middle School. Yep. There are some great men being honored.
Yes, we got great men. Mike Benjamin, Mike B. God, there's so many.
Gino.
Thank you.
Jermaine.
Mr. Lewis. Yep.
Mr. Lewis, who is
he's awesome.
Yeah, and his album is dropping. Matter of fact, Mr. Lewis that same day
is dropping his album.
Is dropping his albums at the African Marketplace. So come on over, 2251 Foreign Road, Sacramento, California, this Saturday.
Yep. And then Ken Times, we got some educators. We got so many people. This is our 8th year doing a Men of Honor, and then I'm gonna also do a tribute to my dad inside the book, because he's one who first replicated. He was one of the first recipients in the Men of Honor, the first group, and then he replicated it in Philly. So, you know, we want to give our big ups to him.
You guys are so dope for doing that.
I feel like if you don't see something in communities you think you don't have, make it happen. Mm-hmm. I'm from old school. I ain't waiting on nobody to celebrate me. I'll do it myself. Mm-hmm. And if y'all know black people, you know that's our strong suit. Mm-hmm. We don't be waiting on people to be like, I think black people are awesome. We be like, we awesome, right? Bam! That's how that goes. So tune into that. Check out the African market. We got a lot of stuff going on. I think we should be very proud of ourselves, because a great man once said, "Up, mighty nation, accomplish what you will." And I think that we said, right on, we are up and we are accomplishing what we will. We see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace, family.